सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदायिनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की। पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 5, Chapter entitled Prahlad, the saintly son of Hiranyakasipu, Text 22. Hiranyakasipur uvacha praharada anuchatam tata swadhitam kinchit uttamam kalena etavata आयुष्मन् यत् अशिक्षत गुरोः भवान् हिरण्यकशिपुर उवाच प्रहराद अनुच्यतां तात स्वधीतं किञ्चित् उत्तमं कालेन एतावतायुष्मन् यत् अशिक्षत गुरोः भवान् हिरण्यकशिपुर उवाच प्रहरादानुच्यतां तात स्वधीतं किञ्चिदुत्तमम् कालेन एतावतायुष्मन् यत् अशिक्षत गुरोर्भवान् हिरण्यकशिपुर उवाच प्रहराद अनुच्यतां तात स्वधीतं किञ्चिदुत्तमम् कालेन एतावतायुष्मन् यत् अशिक्षत गुरोर्भवान्।
हिरण्यकशिपुर्वाच प्रहरादानुच्यतां तात स्वादितं किञ्चित् उत्तमं कालेन एतावता आयुष्मन् यदशिक्षत गुरोर्भवान्।
हिरण्यकशिपु उवाच प्रहलादानुच्यतां तात स्वधीतं किञ्चिदुत्तमं कालेन एतावतायुष्मन् अशिक्षत गुरोर्भवान्।
माताजी's Hiranyakasipur uvacha. King Hiranyakasipu said, Praharada, my dear Prahlad, Anujatam, let it be told, Tata, my dear son, Swadhitam, well learned, Kinchit, something, Uttamam, very nice. Kalena etavatam, for so much time. Ayushman, O long-lived one. Yat, which Ashikshat has learned. Guroho, from your teachers. Bhavan, yourself. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hiranyakasipu said, "My dear Prahlad, my dear son, O long-lived one, for so much time you have heard many things from your teachers. Now, please repeat to me whatever you think is the best of that knowledge." Purport. In this verse, Hiranyakashipu inquires from his son what he has learned from his guru. Prahlad Maharaj's gurus were of two kinds, Shanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya in the seminal disciplic succession, were the gurus appointed by his father. But his other guru was the exalted Narad Muni, who had instructed Prahlad when Prahlad was within the womb of his mother. Prahlad Maharaj responded to the inquiry of his father with the instructions he had received from his spiritual master Narada. Thus there was again a difference of opinion between Prahlad Maharaj, because Prahlad Maharaj wanted to relate the best thing he had learned from his spiritual master, whereas Hiranyakashipu expected to hear about the politics and diplomacy Prahlad had learned from Shanda and Amarka. Now the dissension between the father and son became increasingly intense as Prahlad Maharaj began to say what he had learned from his guru Narad Muni. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
So first of all, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude and congratulations for the amazing program at MIT yesterday evening. Haribol! Special thanks to Vanamali Pandit Prabhu for finally managing to organize it there in spite of so many confusions from Maharaj's side whether we should do it or not do it. Otherwise it could have been advertised before, but there was some delay from Maharaj's side for the final approval for that venue. But it was very amazing to see all kinds of equations in the background. And Maharaj speaking Shivananda Sen and Chaitanya Charitamrita. It was like my visit back to IIT and how I got attracted to Krishna consciousness. So, many years ago, when they had organized a World Conference for Science and Religion, 1997, Bhaktivedanta Institute, very amazing event where so many Nobel laureates had come. So, all these kinds of presentations were there on science. It was going above the head of most people. And practically because so many of our Maharajas were there, so all congregation had come from Calcutta and nearby places. The best part was the prasad, which everybody could relate to it. But the most challenging was the post-lunch session, because they had in the Calcutta Science Auditorium and all the lights would be dimmed. And I could hear snoring sounds also. And after the one such presentation, when I came out, Radhanath Swami was, walking up to me. And then he looked up to me, he said, "Oh, what they presented was so complex." And then he said, "You are from IIT, Gauranga, so you must have understood what they said." So I also had not understood half the things. But I said, "Well, yeah. Some of this stuff I had studied in IIT, but, it was okay." But I said, "But I was sleeping in between." Maharaj said, "You're lucky, I was waking up in between." So when Maharaj spoke the pastime with Sadaputa Prabhu and Dr. Richard Thompson and all of that, it was a very important lecture actually, which can resolve most of the issues we are facing in today's Kali Yuga, especially within ISKCON, if we hear that lecture deeply, because so many of our conflicts happen because of diverse perspectives. So it was a whole approach on how to harmonize very polar, different perspectives on the same truth. You approach the truth through the scientific paradigm like Dr. Thompson, or you approach through the devotional paradigm like Radhanath Swami, and the Bhagavad Gita is the same truth which is being looked at from different angles. And therefore, when you look at the whole creation as part of the Supreme, idam hi vishwam bhagavan ivetaro yato jagat sthanam nirodha sambhava taddi bhavan veda bhavan tatapite pradesh matram. That the whole creation is nothing but Krishna's energies. Naishkarmyam apyachyuta bhava varjitam na shobhate jnanamalam niranjanam. Everything is coming out as his energies only. So practically speaking, you see his presence everywhere. You see his touch in everything and everyone. And therefore, even if there is a huge difference of opinion, difference in approach, difference in perspective, you can see that as Krishna's presenting himself in a different manner. So therefore, the ultimate resolution to conflicts in this world is upgradation of our consciousness. Right? And when Indra and Prithu, they have their conflict. Right? Sprishantam padayor premna vriditum svena karmana shatakrutur parishvajya vidvesha visasarjaha. So very important that we may think two new bhaktas have conflicts. Oh, not good. Then we think, oh, two ISKCON managers have conflict. Oh, very bad. The two ISKCON gurus have conflict. Oh, that is too much. But Bhagavatam describes two avatars have conflict. Which is not to encourage us for more conflict, but to reveal that the nature of this world is, even if avatars descend, there could be situations where there is conflict. So Prithu is an avatar, Indra is an avatar, Shaktyavesh avatar, representative of the Lord. Krishna appears in this world for Indra. Ete chamsakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. Krishna appears. Indra is so dear to him that to protect Indra's interests, Krishna appears in avatars. And he is in a full-fledged battle. With whom? With Prithu, who is also another incarnation. So therefore, that conflict between the two blows up to such an extent that Prithu Maharaj starts attacking. And when the attack grows, Indra starts changing dresses, and then the Lord himself has to come. So the Lord comes with Indra. The Lord comes with Indra to convince Prithu. So first Brahmaji comes, he is also convincing Prithu. Vishnu comes, he is also convincing Prithu. And mistake was done by whom? Indra. What is this? Krishna consciousness. Devaki and Vasudeva did austerity to get Krishna as their son. Krishna appeared to Devaki in Mathura jail. For all the austerity which Devaki did, does Devaki and Vasudeva not deserve few days of loving exchange, of Bal Leela? But within moments, Vasudeva was taking Krishna away. So Vasudeva and Devaki as Prishni and Sutapa did austerity for millions of years. And who got the privilege of the Bal Leela, Yashoda Ma and Nanda Maharaj. Which is like saying, you chant 16 rounds diligently, he'll go back to Godhead. That is Krishna consciousness. To understand how Krishna plays his will is completely inconceivable. So this conflict between Prithu and Indra reaches to such an extent that finally Lord Vishnu has to come in front of Prithu and acknowledges there has been a mistake, but you cannot always counteract the mistake with another mistake. So right now the situation is you have appeared to establish dharma. That is the original purpose of your avatar. But because of the stand you have taken to punish Indra, as a defense mechanism, Indra is increasing adharma by creating various, shadow sadhus and sampradayas. Chala dharma. So your original purpose was to protect dharma. But because you have become completely absorbed in this conflict, you are forgetting that this approach is destroying the original purpose of your incarnation. So therefore there are various kinds of distractions in our path of bhakti. So Ichcha can distract us, desire, and Dvesha can also distract us, which is anger and envy. Ichcha Dvesha Samuthena Dvandva Mohena Bharata. Sarabhutani Sammoham Sargayanti Parantapa. So we have to be careful that we do not get trapped either by Ichcha or Dvesha. So therefore when Indra comes, and then Vishnu gives him, a lot of advice to Prithu Maharaj. Finally, Sprashantam Padayor Premna. Indra falls at the feet of Prithu. Vriditum Svena Karmana. Ashamed of his acts. Shatakratu, which is Indra, the performer of hundreds. The whole conflict was about the 100th only. Till 99 everything was okay. Shatakratu, when Indra comes down, Parishvajya, immediately our Prithu Maharaj picks him up and embraces him. Vidvesham, and the specific dvesha. Vidvesha means not generic anger and envy. Oh, I am envious. I am an envious soul. Please deliver me. Give me your blessings. No. Vidvesha means sometimes our dvesha and anger is towards one specific situation, person, and maybe community or whatever. That specific envy and anger agitates us so much that it pulls us into a series of erroneous decision making. So we are not being impelled by discrimination, we are impelled by dvesha. Vidvesha means visheshena dvesha. Because of the anger and envy towards one particular person, situation, or community, or whatever, that one thing pulls you to engage in angry acts. So that vidvesham which Indra had towards Prithu and Prithu had towards Indra, and it's mutual also. Nobody can say, oh, I am not at all affected, it is him. That's what each person may say, but it is mutual. Visasarja, he gave up. Indra and Prithu both gave up that mutual envy and anger. Visasarja, And so Prabhupada writes in that purport, that the nature of this world is there is always envy, there is always anxiety and anger. But when one realizes that ultimately we are all parts and parcels of Krishna, it is only on the center of Krishna consciousness we can actually give up such anger and envy. So Prabhupada says that Krishna consciousness helps a person adjust the cause of his envy. He doesn't say you give up envy and become pure devotee. He said no. Adjust the cause of your envy. You can read the 4th canto purport of Prabhupada in this Prashantam Padayor Premna verse. Adjust the cause of your envy somehow and move forward. So that is something which is very important. And so the association of devotees is practically the only hope for souls in this age of Kali to cope with this. Sushila Sahishnu Shanta Vadanya Gambhir Madhura Vachana Madhur Cheshta Mahadhir Sabar Samman Karta Koren Sabar Hit Kautilyamat Suryahimsa Najane Tarachit. So a devotee is supposed to develop these qualities. Sushila, Sahishnu, tolerant, Shanta, to be very controlled. Vadanya, magnanimous, Gambhir, sober. Madhur Vachan, speak very sweetly. Madhur Cheshta, and the dealings has to be sweet. Mahadhir, and extremely grave. Sabar Samman Karta, always respecting others. Koren Sabar Hit, helping others. Kautilya, fault finding. Matsarya, envy. Himsa, violence. Najane Tarachit. His heart, his mind, his consciousness does not enter into these domains. Vaishnavera Gunagrahi No dekhaye dosh Kaya mane vakya kore Vaishnava santosh. And therefore a Vaishnava is gunagrahi. He understands that the Vaishnavas through their association and blessings are helping me in my ultimate goal, which is what? To remember Krishna. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So remembrance of Krishna is in whose hands? Krishna's hands. Forgetfulness, apohanam, is in whose hands? Krishna's hands. So what will enable remembrance? When Krishna is pleased. What will enable forgetfulness? When Krishna is pained. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tuham madanyaktena jananti naam tebhyo managapi. And Krishna says, the devotees are my heart. So therefore, however irritated we may be by any devotee, we have to know they have the power of attorney. They have a certain power given by Krishna. And if you are upset, then you have to be upset with Krishna. Why you give such power of attorney? Should have consulted me. Krishna has given that power of attorney to devotee of all categories, whoever has taken to the process. That is their mukhya lakshana. And therefore here it is described that Nirvairas sadaya shanto damba hankara varjita nirapeksha munirvita raga sadhuri ichyate sadhuru ihochyate. A devotee or sadhu is nirvaira, without any conflict or enmity. Shanta, damba ahankara, without pride Nirapeksha Munirvita, detached, and Vita Raga, without any attachment. So therefore now Krishna, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya says, who is a Vaishnava? Ata eva jara mukhe eka Krishna nam. One who chants Krishna's name even once, he is called Vaishnava. Jara mukhe eka Krishna nam. Saito Vaishnava kaha tahara samman. Saito Vaishnava, he is a Vaishnava. And he says, Koriha tahara samman. You have to respect that Vaishnava. Respect that person, right? When Srila Prabhupada was in his initial days translating, so then one of the disciples was typing whatever Prabhupada was translating. He was editing also. So Prabhupada had written at one place, Shri Shri Radha Krishna. So this devotee circled one Shri and wrote there, mistake, repetition. Prabhupada saw that. So Prabhupada said, why did you remove this? He said, it is repetition. You don't say and, that, Shri, Shri. It's not proper grammar. It's a mistake. Prabhupada said, when I write in your language, you edit that. When I write in my language, you mind your own business. So many times misunderstanding is caused because we judge based on our previous perspectives and understanding. It could be a cultural difference, it could be a language difference, it could be a social understanding difference. So, Ata eva jara mukhe ek Krishna naam. Ek baar bhi naam liya. Saitu Vaishnava. He is a Vaishnava. Koriha tahara samman. He should be respected. Then he says, so what you should do? For a Vaishnava, one should respect. And who is a Vaishnava? One who chants even once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So everybody has become Vaishnava. So we should at least, minimum thing is respect. You can't go below that. The minimum is respect. Next, Vaishnava-tara. Who is Vaishnava-tara? Krishna nama nirantara jahara vadane Saito Vaishnava-tara bhaja tahara charane. Saito Vaishnava-tara. So then one edition of Chaitanya Charitamrita says Saito Vaishnava-tara. Prabhupada's BBT Chaitanya Charitamrita says Saito Vaishnava Sreshta Bhajatahara Charane. Okay, so who is Vaishnava Tara? One who is Yahara Badane, on his lips and tongue. Krishna Nama Nirantara. So Antara means 6 things. Nirantara. Nirantara. Antara means interval. Nirantara means no interval, which means constant, always chanting. Antara means body. So sometimes one takes a break from bhakti, from chanting, to please the body, to engage in sense gratification. Nirantara means no, never takes a break from bhakti for sense gratification. Antara means money. So sometimes one may go slack on one's sadhana for one's financial needs. Nirantara means no, one doesn't take a break. Balances both the things. Antara means janata, public opinion. And based on public opinion, one may sometimes take a back seat. Hey, why you are chanting so much? why you are becoming bhakti and this and that. It's not good. So then he takes a, no. So greed, antara also means greed. And nirantara means no greed. And antara means atheistic idea. Because of atheistic idea, sometimes when there is some disruption or there is some vipatti, distress, one may take a break from bhakti. But thinking, why, if the Lord is there, how can He put me in such trouble? No, nirantara. In sampatti and vipatti, the chanting continues without a break. So these are the 6 understandings of antara given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Krishna Nama Nirantara Jahara Vadane Seto Vaishnava Sreshtaya Vaishnavatara Jahara Bhajatahara Charane. So what you should do to Vaishnavatara? Bhaja. Serve them. So to the Vaishnava what we should do? Respect. To Vaishnavatara we should serve them. Then who is Vaishnavatama? Jahara darshane mukhe aise Krishna nam tahara janiha tumi Vaishnava pradhan. Jahara darshane mukhe. Just by seeing that person, one remembers Krishna. And Krishna's name comes on one's lips. Tahara janiha tumi Vaishnava pradhan. Accept that person as the Vaishnava Pradhan, Vaishnavatam. And what you should do to in front of such a Vaishnavatam? Surrender. To one respects the Vaishnava, serves the Vaishnavatara and surrenders to Vaishnavatama. And the basic principle one follows. Asat Sanga Tyaga Ei Vaishnava Achar Stri Sangi Eka Asadhu Krishna Bhakta Ar. So the main principle is Asat Sanga Tyaga. Give up the wrong association. And therefore Vaishnava gives up Asadhu Sanga and Vaishnava Pray and Vaishnava Abhas. Those who are into Vaishnava Pray and Vaishnava Abhas, they do not renounce such Vaishnava, they do not renounce such Asat Sangha. And therefore, these are the obstacles to real Sadhu Sangha. First, materialistic friends and relatives. Second, not to consider the Sadhu one's real friend. Third, we have to understand that any discussion of Vishay Katha, materialistic discussion, is an obstacle. Even if Shraddha is there, but Sadhu Sangha is not there, that is an obstacle. And another obstacle is that the sadhaka has sadhu sangha, but he loses his shraddha. So to have shraddha but not to have sadhu sangha is obstacle. To have sadhu sangha and lose shraddha is also obstacle. So therefore, kona bhagye kona jivera shraddha yadi hoye tabe sei jiva sadhu sangha ye koroye. Only when that jiva develops sufficient shraddha, that jiva gets the proper sadhu sangha. Otherwise, one ultimately loses that. Nitya baddha Krishna hoite nitya bahirmukha nitya samsara bhunje narakadi dukkha. And that soul continues in various hellish conditions. Brahmite brahmite jadi sadhu sangha paye tar upadesha mantre maya pishacha palaye. When that soul, while wandering, finally gets sadhu sangha, brahmite brahmite jadi sadhu sangha paye. When one gets sadhu sangha, tar upadesha mantre, only when one hears from that sadhu, maya pishacha palaya, one can throw away or chase away the ghost of maya. Ghost, what is the characteristic of ghost? It haunts you. That means the material desires, the obsessive desires which haunt us, that's called maya pishacha, can only be overcome by upadesha mantri, through the upadesh of the devotees. Like that. So these are some of the important instructions with respect to the sadhu sangha, which last few days we have been discussing. So Prahlad represents that personality whose life got transformed because of sadhu sangha, because of faith in Narada, because of sadhu kripa. And Hiranyakasipu's heart was filled with material desires and obsessive ego because of being cursed by the sadhus. Sadhu krodha. So that's how the seventh canto plays out. Uti means shubh, ashubh ichha. If you want shubh ichha to come up, try to be the recipient of sadhu kripa. If you are wondering why ashubh ichhas are coming, then you should analyze how I have hurt the devotees and being the recipient of anger of the devotees. So we just end our, how many days we did, Baba? 5 days. 5 days Bhagavatam series, the longest I have done in 20 years in Boston. And as Maharaj said, I am doing this as a compensation for September.
We already agreed, and then now you retracting.
Because I assume Maharaj will also be, coming back or whatever. Let's see. I'm open. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Is your pujari delayed today?
Yeah, we have to do.
We have to do Guru Puja now. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.